guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, so let's recap and review Married to Medicine. This is season 9, episode 11. And one thing I will say, like I said in my last video, these rumors it's gonna get people caught up. So let's get into it. Before we get into the review, let's get a little spicy before we get into the review. So this is coming from the Peach Report, and this was posted on September the 22nd. So I think that would have been like a Thursday. Yeah, it was a Thursday because the 23rd was a Friday and I had an exam. So the Peach Report is saying Carrie accuses Toya of saying there was a hit on Anila's home before her robbery, and Toya claps back. So if you watch my last review, I was talking about Funky Dineva's video, and what I saw on Twitter was a compilation of things. It's seemingly that Funky Dineva, Dr. Heavenly, and now Quad have both been saying the same story, like this tweet is talking about Carrie saying that a couple of days before Anila's house got robbed, Toya had told Carrie allegedly that there was a hit out on her home, as well as Funky Dineva and Dr. Heavenly on their YouTube videos were stating that allegedly Toya had like a huge party and then Anila's house got robbed. That is what's been alleged, and this is what has so much commotion on the internet, and low-key got people really pissed at the cast of Married to Medicine. So like I said, this is coming from the Peach Report on Twitter, and it starts off with Carrie saying this. Nobody is saying, and this is from Carrie. Carrie says, nobody is saying at Toya Bush Harris set her up to get robbed or that she had anything to do with it, but she did say that there was a hit out on at Anila Sajans 2 days before the robbery took place. And then Toya responded and said, at Carrie Wells, you're an idiot, a liar, and definitely ready for a lawsuit. You and I both know we didn't have a conversation about Anila's alleged break-in. I don't talk to you now, and I didn't then. So then Carrie responded and said, bring it on and let's both take a polygraph. You know you said to me before at Anila Sajan's robbery, I am not insinuating in any way you had anything to do with it, but you know what you said. I don't lie. I have no reason to. So here's my thing about that. I don't think Carrie is lying, but I also am like, I would look at Carrie funny when allegedly Carrie said this to Dr. Heavenly on her show. You see the way Dr. Heavenly talks about Toya, and if Toya and you are supposed to be so buddy or like good friends, why are you on someone else's show who quite literally drags her every second she gets to tell her this information because you know it's going to be misconstrued? Like, I don't think Carrie is lying, but I also don't think Toya would put a hit out on someone's home or be the one to do the robbery herself or tell people to rob Anila. Toya has been on this show for 9 seasons and has had a lot worse beef with other cast members. For her and Anila to have this spat, for her to be like, yeah, go get her robbed, I think we pushing it. So then after Sunday's episode, I caught a few retweets from Toya, and Toya had this to say on September the 25th, and it said, rumors are carried by haters, spread by fools, and accepted by idiots. Hashtag Married to Medicine, hashtag season 9. So then she retweeted another person who said, I hope at Toya Bush Harris sues Quad. And then Toya retweeted it or quote tweeted it with saying hashtag Married to Medicine. So it's not looking good for the Married to Medicine ladies. Like I said in my last review, we've had much crazier storylines and a lot more venom being spewed between the ladies. But I do think we're going a bit too far with this, especially when it's like children are involved. But we'll talk about that in the review. So let's get to it. All right, y'all. So the episode picks up where it left off, where we have Kieran and Anila basically like processing their feelings, their emotions, and how they need to make themselves a lot safer once after having the robbery. And my thing is, and I don't know if I said it in my last review, probably did, but I'm gonna say it again. I'm going to give Karen and Anila the benefit of the doubt about this happening, just like I did Doree, even though I think both situations are sus to me. Because for one thing, you guys build this $1 million home or multi-million-dollar home, but all your cameras were off, as well as y'all are actively on the internet. Anila's always blogging, and you guys didn't think to have like a security system. And even if you don't have like cameras, none of your neighbors in your neighborhood that have cameras, unless they're in, that's the thing, Anila's house isn't that far away from the other house that's near her, because I was thinking like, well, maybe the houses are spread out, because as someone who grew up in like Northern Virginia and in the northern part of Northern Virginia, like near the mountains, a lot of people had homes the size of Anila and Kieran, and even me included. But like, I lived in a subdivision. I had friends that like lived in the country, and it would be like, it would probably take like maybe a good 7 or 8 minutes until you got to the next house, because the houses were so spread out, because people had massive land. So I'm just like, maybe that's what it is. But whenever they pan out to Anila's home, there's another house like directly beside it. So it's like none of the neighbors had cameras, because that's how a lot of people have been able to like catch robbers now, is that like if their ring light didn't catch all of it, the other house beside it would see it, or another house would at least see a car like speeding away after the job was done and been able to catch license plate, I mean. As well as, it's just kind of weird to me that conveniently it was turned off. Like, why are your cameras turned off and you have all this jewelry you're constantly posting about your home and things of that nature? Like, it's odd to me. The situation's odd. As well as I don't like them trying to blame another cast member. And like someone said online, and it was a tweet that got like a lot of traction, Candy and Marlo's houses got broke into in Atlanta. And I think even Drew had a situation, and none of them blamed anybody on the cast, and they've had just as much as contentious relationships with the ladies on the cast. So why outright are we blaming Toya? And granted, yeah, Toya might have said like, oh, there was a hit on the house before, and I believe that she did say that. But just because she said that there was a hit out on the house does not mean that she was the one that corroborated and like schemed and was the mastermind behind them getting their houses robbed. And I find that really messed up, that that's the storyline or that's the narrative they want to put out there, because that is very damaging. And I don't think people understand that people are going to look at Eugene like, okay, so the people already have this perception that Toya is stupid and she's ditzy. They're definitely going to be like, oh, well, Toya couldn't be the only one. Eugene probably has something to do with it. And I'm like, bro, he's a doctor. He has paid his debt to society and loans that he has to pay back. And it's like, y'all could jeopardize his opportunity to rise in his career, or even be able to practice his career, because people don't want to hire him because they think he out here with a wife that steals. Like, what? Like, I just feel like that's wrong. I don't care how you shake it. It's wrong. And I don't even like Toya. Married to Medicine is one of the few shows that I've actively loved to watch, that I like the cast as an ensemble as a whole. Like I already told y'all, Dr. Simone is like my fave, because she reminds me of my aunts and my mom's friends. Then it would, like, of this cast, it would be Dr. Simone, then Jackie, then I would slide Heavenly in there, then Toya, then I say Quad, then Contessa, then Anila. Like, that's how it goes. So like, Toya's not even somebody I'd be like, like I could care less about her being on the show like that. But I don't think it's right to try to paint her this way. And like a lot of people have been saying, it's starting to look like y'all are plotting to take her down. And it does feel that way. Like, you have all these people, and I'm not saying Toya is innocent. I am not, because Toya be putting her foot in her mouth, and she does say slick stuff to people. So I'm not saying nobody, that the cast of ladies don't have a right to combat her or come at her. But what I am saying is, it's starting to look like y'all are dogpiling on her and trying to like assassinate her character the same way y'all did Mariah. And I didn't even like Mariah. I did not like Mariah. I wish she would come back because I did like what she added to the show. But Mariah would be at the bottom of my list of people I like because I could not stand Mariah. But like, if you go back and look at the other seasons, they did actively take that lady down. They chose Quad's side and they let that lady sell, like selling the ship, like, and go on about her business. So I just feel like that's what they're kind of trying to do with Toya. And the only thing that's helping Toya, I would say, is that majority of the fans are on her side. When the things were happening with Mariah, a lot of people were actively, like, the fandom was actively like, yeah, she could go. Like, nobody was really, like, fighting for her or wanting her to be, like, a part of the show in that way. But in this situation, a lot of people who even don't like Toya are upset with this narrative that they're trying to push, that she is the one who orchestrated this robbery. And I said corroborated. Corroborated means to, like, agree with my mind. So yeah, I don't like that. So we then see Dr. Jackie. She actually hired the doctor that she did an interview with last episode. I think I skipped over that. She seems like a really nice lady. I think that it's great that Dr. Jackie is trying to lessen her time at work and, you know, do other endeavors, like, you know, doing the book, being a guest speaker, and spending time with Curtis. I know a lot of people don't like Big Mole because of what he did to Dr. Jackie, and I totally understand that, but she chose to stay with him. So if they're going to stay together, I would at least hope that they are happy in the decision of staying together. So they seem happy, and I think they should be able to work on building whatever they got to work on. Because Dr. Jackie is in her 60s. At least that's what online says. It could be wrong. Because I always thought Dr. Jackie was like on like the later part of 50. I didn't think she was that old. But it's time to enjoy your life. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. And Dr. Jackie should be able to do that. We then see Ashton is having a birthday party. That is Toya's oldest son. I like him. He is funny to me. When Toya is driving. We find out that Eugene is taking a job as a emergency oncologist, basically seeing people who have emergencies with their cancer. And it seems to be something that's a lot less strenuous and taxing on his mental health and probably like his physical health. And when Ashton was in the back of the car and he said the full name of like what his title would be, and he was like, "That's a big word for you, man." I giggled. I like when kids can joke with their parents, because I do that with my parents, and I feel like that's what it should be. Like, you know, always, you know, respect your elders and respect your parents, but there should still be a relationship that's built on like having a good time. So he is turning 12 and they decide to have a cute little dinner party. He expensive. The little boy said, "Can I have some Wagyu?" I said, "Oh, you trying to serve your friends, right?" So he's going to have a dinner party for his 12th birthday. The dinner party was actually cute. They all gave them like champagne flutes with apple cider in it. His little friends did a toast. I was glad it was a mixture of kids, you know, a mixture, because, you know, sometimes you be worried with the kids now. But it was a mixture of kids. I thought it was cute when a little boy got up and did a speech for thanking everybody for coming to his friend's birthday party. I like, when I say mixture, I'm glad it was boys and girls of different ethnicities and, you know, colors and races. Like, it was cute. They was all eating their beignets. They were eating their steak, and it was just nice. And it was nice to see Toya and Eugene and them be happy. It was such like a wholesome family moment, and you could tell Toya was so happy. She was cheesing, like, I bet you she was smiling so hard her face hurt by the end of the night. Like, she was serving the kids like, "You want some? I got you." Like, she was just so happy to serve them. So was Eugene. You could tell that Ashton was happy. And the kids seemed to really enjoy the food. So it was just a really nice moment. And it's probably a birthday that he'll probably remember for a long time. They, like, you know, he cooked dinner. And he is really good at cooking. So I'm happy that they didn't, like, Toya and them didn't do that whole gender role stupid crap where it's like boys shouldn't be in the kitchen. Like, he seems to really enjoy cooking and he seems to be good at it, like Eugene. And I'm like, bro, that's how you catch the ladies, cause you cook me a nice meal. Hey, you might get a call back and some more, you know? So it was just cute. It was a cute moment. It was cute to see Toya and Eugene. It, like, you know, just being a family, because like the past few episodes we just been seeing them being in turmoil, especially dealing with Eugene and him just being burnt out. So it was just a really nice moment. So let's move on to the next scene. So the next scene we see is Omarosa, Simone, and Cecil like on the computer, like FaceTiming Omarosa, and they're talking about the book. Omarosa said the book is good so far, but there's something missing. You guys really aren't diving into why you got a divorce. And they both were kind of hesitant to talk about it, mainly because it doesn't seem like it seems like they're slowly closing that chapter of their marriage, but they don't want to get into the nitty gritty of it. And they probably should, especially if you're going to write a book about how to overcome divorce and being like on the winning team when both of them are products of divorce. So they should dive into it. I see a lot of people speculating that this was a storyline for them. It potentially could be, but I mean, it ain't like they both ain't been in the drama. Like Cecil been in the drama with the men, you know, and so has Simone. So I don't really care if this is a storyline, but I do think if they're going to write the book, they should dive more into that. We then have a scene. It was a very somber moment where we find out that unfortunately, Dr. Heavenly's mom did transition. She did pass away. And we see Jackie and Qua go up to her house and just sit with her and talk with her. She had a lot of really beautiful arrangements. And I thought that was like, you know, you never think that people give that many flowers. But as someone who's just experienced a loss a few months ago, a lot of plants, I was like, wow, y'all, this a lot. This a lot. And I'm happy that I've kept my grandmother's plant alive, y'all. When I tell you Leah kills plants that are indoor plants, outside plants will thrive with me. Indoor plants, I don't know. I overwatered them. That's the problem. My dad had to sit me down and say, baby, you can't put that much water in there. And I was just like, plants need water, right? But my plant is thriving and surviving, and I am proud of me. I am proud of me that, and it's getting so much bigger. I'm so proud of that plant. I am so proud of myself and that plant. Okay. So they just talked to her. I wish we would get more of this from Heavenly in the sense of learning about her childhood a lot more, because I think that's the most interesting aspect of Heavenly. Like when it was the Golden Girls and they went down that season to talk about how Heavenly grew up, you know, how her mom kept her in the house, how her sister was allowed to run wild and she never got that opportunity, how she was bullied. I feel like that is a lot more interesting when it comes to Heavenly, other than the whole Team Daddy mess. That is so much, this is so much more interesting and compelling about her, because I wish, I mean, here's the thing. Dr. Heavenly and her sister are like a year apart, like me and my sister. And it's like, it's sad because the relationship that I have with my sister, that's my ride or die. We ride or die for each other. I know for a fact if I ain't got nobody else in this world, that one right there, she got me. She got me. And I just felt bad. Like when I saw their ages on that picture where it was like 8 to 7, it's like they don't even have any pictures when they were older. And I'm just like, dang, like y'all really don't mess with each other. And that just kind of sucks because like their mom is gone. I don't remember them talking about they're heavily talking about her father a lot. So I'm like, is he not in the picture or did he pass away? And it's just kind of like, when your parents are gone and you are like, and you're not an only child and you have siblings, that's kind of the only person you have, you know, next, other than other family members, of course. But it's just kind of like, dang, like I wish she would have a better relationship with her sister. But I do think if from the outside looking at it, it just seems like there's a lot of resentment on both ends. Like Heavenly resents her sister for being the popular girl or the pretty girl or the girl that got to run around, run the streets and like live her best life in high school and possibly college. And she had to be hauled up in the house and go to like dental school and do all these things. And then her sister might be resentful as well, as being like, well, why were you the one that was allowed, like had these dreams of grandeur that mom put on you and she never had those things about me. So I think there's a lot to go around for both of them, but I just feel like it's sad that they aren't close and they're only 1 year apart. I think that's called like Irish twins. Yeah, my sister always says we're Irish twins. So yeah, that they're 1 year apart. I think that's what it's called. But I just felt bad for them. I do. But I'm glad that Jackie and them were there to console her. I also thought it was very comforting in a sense that she said she met with like a prophetess and the lady, and no one knew that her mom had passed away. And the lady spoke into her and said, you know, your mom is up there dancing. And Heavenly was like, her legs were what really were bothering her, and she loved to like move around and do those things and dance. And so she was happy, and it comforted her to know that her mom was up there, having a good time, living her best life. So the last scene of the night was held at Jackie's home. It was basically like a celebration party. They did a vaccination drive, and everyone was eating at Jackie's house. Mind you, I'd have been mad at Jackie because it said it was 41 degrees outside, and she had them people outside eating barbecue. I said, girl, no ma'am. No ma'am. I thought it was funny when there was a scene with Simone and Heavenly where they were going up to the barbecue food truck, and I think Heavenly was like, girl, get your man a plate. And Simone turned around and was like, you get your man a plate. You do that. I don't do that. I'm me. I'm going to get this plate, and he going to go get his plate. I'm not going to go get that man a plate. She was like, I was like, I don't know why they took with me. She was like, if my man needs some, needs some sloppy toppy, I got him, but I'm not going to go get his plate. I said, Simone. I didn't need to know that, as well as I didn't want to hear Heavenly said that Damon had a big penis. I didn't know. I didn't need to hear neither of that by neither one of them. I didn't hear it. I didn't need it. So they're all sitting outside. They're eating. They're drinking. Anila FaceTimes Jackie, or Jackie FaceTimes Anila. I don't know where she was because she had on the mask, so maybe she was out and about in the town. And they're asking her how she's doing. Contessa is asking prying questions while they outside. Like, one, was your cameras on? Why you turn your cameras off? Did your neighbors catch it? Aren't you in a gated community? Is it robbery common in your area? I was like, damn, Contessa. So you got Simone and Toya over there like giggling at Contessa asking all these questions, as well as Anila said she felt like she was targeted. So then Quad was like, yes, that's it, in the confessional. Ding, ding, ding. And I'm like, Quad, you need to tread lightly. Because, like, I gave y'all my list of how I see the ladies on the cast, or who's my fave. And like I said, as an ensemble, I somewhat enjoy, well, not somewhat, I do enjoy this cast. I could take or leave Anila. But, like, I enjoy the cast. But I think why I say Quad needs to tread lightly is a lot of people are grabbing, like, parallels of how Quad did Mariah. And I told y'all Mariah was not my favorite. But if you go back, it is starting to look crazy. Like, you accuse Mariah of doing coke. You also accused her of sponsoring the blogs. Now, I sponsor the blogs. You said that. You did that to her. As well as now you're accusing Toya of robbery. It's like you're 3 for 3. You got to chill out. You got to chill out. Because people are looking at you, like, really looking at you. As well as I heard somebody compare you to Phaedra, saying that you're starting to give them Phaedra vibes, how Phaedra accused the whole Phaedra situation with Candy and the accusation. People are feeling like you're doing the same thing because Candy crossed Phaedra, and Toya crossed you when she made that comment about you living in that cheap ass apartment when you were living in that 3-story townhouse with the elevator, and you took mad offense about it, calling that lady plastic like a mannequin. So it's like, it's not looking good for you, sis. It's not looking good for you. So the ladies go into the house. The men are outside. They're just all conversating and talking and drinking and stuff like that. They all sit in the house in the warmth, and they're talking about Anila. And Jackie starts the conversation by saying, Anila seems devastated. And Toya's like, why would anybody want to, like, rob her? Maybe, like, and there's like, maybe I don't know if she called her, she didn't say she was a liar. Lying. She said because she's a liar. And that was supposed to piggyback off of last episode when Anila brought them girls to spread the rumor about Toya cheating on Eugene. So then Quad is like raising her eyebrows and looking at Toya saying, why would you say that? Carrie said that there was a hit out on her home. And Simone, Contessa, and Toya get the laughing because they're just like, a hit, like, girl, you going too far. Like, everybody getting robbed in Atlanta. It ain't that deep. It's not that deep. So then they get on so they're all laughing and giggling and kikiing about that. And then Quad is like, why would anyone want to hurt her family? And Toya's like, why would you want to hurt the family? Or they got on the conversation. So then Toya and Quad started going back and forth because Toya's like, you always saying slick stuff about my family anyway. And they did show it. They did show it. So then Quad is like, I ain't never said nothing mad about your family. And then Toya's like, well, that's not what Heavenly told me. And that's when Heavenly got up and say, I'm not in this. I'm not in this. My mama just effing died. Like, F this, and tries to get out the door, but she can't get out the door because the door, like, I think you had to push it, and she was trying to pull it out. And then that's when she comes downstairs and was like, my man got a big D. I don't need nothing else. And that's because Heavenly felt like Toya was making the accusation that she was out here cheating on Damon or sleeping around with other people. So everyone's like, girl, what's going on? So then Heavenly, Contessa, and Quad go check on Heavenly as they're leaving. And that's when Quad makes the whole statement of like, I'm just going to have to check someone's character if they can't be here for you in the moment of you losing your mother. Contessa comes up and like apologizes because she's lost her mom, and she says that feeling of emptiness is something that most people don't understand. So in the house, Toya is like, I've never lost my mom, and you can kind of tell she's drunk, but why would I feel bad or feel for somebody who was trying to destroy my marriage? And she has a point. And that's the thing. And Simone was trying to be there for her because Simone tried to like pull her together and be like, you know, put that to the side and like have a little bit of compassion for her. And I got where Simone was coming from, but I also got where Toya's coming from. This lady drags me on the internet every chance she gets when she does her reviews. Heavenly drags Toya. And then on top of that, it's like I'm supposed to feel some type of way for somebody who was a part of something, trying to set me up last episode by telling me these ladies came here to ruin my marriage. And like, I have no control over her mom passing away, whether it's today or tomorrow or months from now. But either way, my compassion or my empathy for her is not, I don't have that much because she didn't have it for me. And Toya said that she was like, everybody piles on me because they think I'm strong and I'm just supposed to take it, but I'm not. And I was like, she really not. And y'all, I could take a leave, Toya. I really could. But I do feel like it is starting to look like they ganging up on her. Especially with the comment Quad made about like, you know, if someone can't be there for you in this moment, I got to check their character. And it's like, were y'all there for Mariah when she had double miscarriages with 2 twins? Like, y'all weren't. Like, and I didn't even fault them for not being there for Mariah either, because they didn't like Mariah at the time. They all felt they felt for her in that moment, but nobody was rushing up to hug her or anything like that because they were all mad at her. And I'm like, life's like, these moments happen in life, but that doesn't mean people's feelings for you change. Like, I think Toya does probably feel bad for Heavenly losing her mom, but that doesn't negate the fact that she's still pissed that they tried to set her up on the last episode by saying that she out here cheating on her man. Like, what y'all want the lady to do? What do y'all want her to do? But that's how the episode ends. Next episode seems interesting. They're going to Blue Ridge. They're probably going to confront the whole thing about Toya possibly setting people up. But yeah, that is it. That is all. Remember to be bravely authentic and drop down in them comments below. Deuces.